Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a sunny, beautiful, amazing-looking day here at the Longbeach Circuit in beautiful California. This is David Anderson with Champion Motorsports, and I am super excited to be back on the air after being away for a few weeks, and joined by my good friend Ryan Thompson. Ryan, how are you this evening?
I'm doing really well, David. How are you?
Yeah, terrific. Really excited about this one tonight, and we couldn't have picked a better venue. I mean, look at how gorgeous this place looks, Ryan.
Oh, I know. Yeah, this is such a great, like street track, but such a great, iconic street track.
Absolutely, and just picturesque. iRacing has done an amazing job as we see all the visuals kind of flying over the track right now, and we are going to have what is going to be insanely busy race here tonight. We've got, by my count, 45 drivers in our GT3 series, sprint series, taken to the track here at Long Beach tonight. Ryan, that's a really big field at this track. Really, really big field. It's going to be, you and I are going to be busy tonight.
Yep, I think so. That's an even little bit bigger field than we've had for some of the other races this season. So I guess some people are excited to be here.
Yeah, and while we're on early, we've been away a little bit. We did not have time tonight to put together a graphic for you all, so we'll just talk a little bit about kind of what's happening in the championship. Again, if you have been watching this series with us before, or maybe tonight's your first time to watch it, this is the Champion Motorsports, CMSRacing.com, iRacing GT3 Sprint Series. It's one of our most popular leagues here at Champion Motorsports. We run on Wednesday nights, and we are now about halfway into our newest season. So this is we've had many seasons over the years, but this is our, I believe, our second. Keep me honest on that, Ryan, but our second of 2023 calendar year.
Third, actually.
Third, okay. So we're 3 seasons in, and each season is about a dozen races or so. Every Wednesday night, we have a pro category. So any driver you see tonight out here on the track in the pro category will have a number below 200. Any driver in our amateur category will have a number that starts with 200, and that's a really easy way that you can differentiate the drivers when they're on the track with us here, and Ryan and I will call attention to that as well. But we are into, let's see here, this is race 5 of, it looks like, a 10, maybe 12 races if I'm counting correctly. And some really good battles we're following. Max Muir comes in tonight leading our pro category in points. He has had a really, really strong season so far, with nothing outside of the podium. Every race he's been on the podium has had a couple of wins, and when he hasn't won, the second place man, Paul Darling, has been the guy we've been following. Paul, a real professional sim racer with satellite racing, finds himself only 4 points back. And then another familiar face, Ryan, somebody you and I love to talk about, Miguel Colon, won this series championship a few seasons ago, and he finds himself right there in third place. So I know that's one you and I will be following. Hasn't broken into the win column yet, but he's been 3 podiums out of 4 races so far.
Yeah, very consistent.
Yeah, very much so. And then fourth place in the points, about 20 points back, so still within striking distance, is Michael Parker. And another driver who's won a championship in this series before. And then kind of a surprise, but I don't know that a surprise is the right word, but having his best season yet is JT Tammy, Ryan, in 5th position in the pro category.
Finally getting that Ford dialed in.
Absolutely, and looking really good in the process. He's been in that Ford now, 2 or 3 seasons in a row. Cars are starting to take to the track here for qualifying right now. But he's really, seems like, to your point, Ryan, has gotten his hands around it now, because he is looking really, really good.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah, and to find himself in 5th position is just something else. So we're out here on the track with Max Muir, and while we ride along with Max here a little bit, let's take you through what is happening in the amateur category. So again, those are all the drivers that we'll see here tonight with the 200 numbers. And these are drivers, it's on the honor system here. CMS admins are respectful generally of what guys want to sort of nominate themselves for, and you can choose to be either a pro or an AM. And of course, if we feel like you're misclassified, we'll work with you to get in the right class. But the amateur drivers are those 200 drivers. And Ryan, new name atop the leaderboard, 4 podiums in a row, is Ricardo Delgado, and I believe he's had a class win or two in that as well, if not multiple so far for him. But Ricardo looking really, really strong in his machine, and has a pretty commanding points lead of about 27 or 8 points over Bobby B in second position.
Yeah, he sure does. So we'll see what happens with that battle, if anybody else is able to chip away at his points lead there. But yeah, very strong newcomer for sure. And being in the AM class does not mean you're slow. We still have
it really doesn't.
many talented drivers here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Shane Hunter in third position, David McNellis in fourth, and David Nelson in fifth. So that's another driver similar to JT Tammy. If we talk about David Nelson, he's having kind of a breakout season. David, now kind of a pretty experienced CMS member, has been around a long time, and even though Ricardo is a little bit ahead of these other guys, from David in fifth to Bobby in second, you could really just kind of throw a blanket over them. They're so close together, so that's really cool to see. Just some new names in here, frankly, that are doing really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely. The series just keeps growing. We're always happy to see new people. I think we just signed up another guy tonight. I'm not sure if he is going to be able to make it to the race tonight, but we'll be seeing another new face soon, and they just keep coming.
Yeah, so we're really appreciative, especially of all of our members that do such a great job letting everybody know about the series, and it's really, really cool to see that. So speaking of David McNellis, one of the guys in the top 5, love this paint scheme, so I couldn't help myself but to get on this thing. Look at the colors on this. It looks kind of like what do they call the Neapolitan ice cream box, Ryan?
Yes. It's actually the Trevor Project livery.
Oh, is it? Tell me about this thing. I don't know much about this, or I'm not familiar with this story.
Yeah, David McNeilis is a teammate of mine. The Trevor Project is for young LGBTQ people.
Okay. And it's just really colorful and special and unique. And this thing jumped out at me right away. So David has not turned to time yet, but just kind of had to show this paint scheme. Up at the top of the leaderboard, our provisional pole sitter right now is Max Muir. And Paul Darling in second position. This is Paul, who we see coming at us on the track now. Let's take a ride on board with Paul in his cockpit and see kind of how he... Actually, he looks like he might be slow, Ryan. Maybe not. Maybe just coming up to speed here. Paul Darling in the Ferrari. Would put you all on board with Max Muir, but he is not on track right now. But Max is on the pole with a 118.274 right now. This is Paul Darling with a 118.7, currently in fourth position.
Very accurate, very smooth, as we've come to expect from Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. He seemed a little slow to me, so we're going to have to see kind of what this time looks like when he... comes across. Maybe this is just going out and kind of getting the tires warmed out so that he can turn a hot lap coming around final corner here. And boy, this final corner is tight, Ryan. Look at the lock on this thing.
Yep, that is max.
So he was coming into the pits there, so that was kind of unfortunately not the best person to take a look at. But here is another man we talked about, JT Tammy. Here he is on a hot lap. And JT currently in the fifth position in points, looking really, really strong. And let's ride along board with him here and see what this Ford GT40 will do. Seems like JT, Ryan, is also always one of the last guys out on the track when it comes to qualifying, I've noticed. Almost like a little game he plays.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Really looking forward to seeing this, this Ford hang its tail out around some of these hairpins here.
Absolutely. So as he comes around, we're still tracking Max Muir up front, Miguel Colon in second. Speaking of Ricardo Delgado, our points leader in the AM class, he is currently 5th overall and on the pole for the amateur class. JT's going to go up to 26th position. 26 out of 45. I would be happy with that, Ryan, but I don't think he's going to be happy with it. But let's stick on board with him here. This looks like he's really driving this thing in anger, and we're going to see if he can put this thing in the top 10.
Well, that was really nice around the fountain.
Absolutely. So in our races, the qualifying format is 10 minutes, 3 laps, I believe, or do they get 4 laps? I think it's 3, isn't it? Yeah, 3 laps.
2, actually. Yeah.
2, okay. So 2 laps, 10 minutes to do it. So they don't get much time. This is going to be the second time lap for JT. You got to kind of get it done. Coming around here, he's just got this one little last section to get through here, wheeling this car around. Such a hidden gem within the sim.
Nice wide entry there, good exit.
Absolutely. 119.8 was his last time by. He's going to come in with all the way up to 10th. Moved him up to 10th place with a 119.185. So, wow, that's the other thing. He improved 5 or 6 tenths, and only 5 or 6 tenths on that lap. But, Ryan, this field is tight. That was worth 16, 17 positions a half a second.
Yeah.
So, I'm starting to get nervous.
I've been nervous all week, David.
Yeah, we get the good thing for you and I is when the race comes on like this, even though we may be a little bit nervous knowing what might be to come, you and I also get to kind of just enjoy it for an hour, right? Because we get to be the guys out here calling the race, and that's a fun job on Wednesday night.
Sure is.
Yeah, really, really enjoy it. And it does not look like we have anybody else out on the track. So let me give you a quick rundown of the top 5 in each class. We've got Max Muir on the pole, our points leader right now. Miguel Colon will start second. Miguel currently 3rd in the points. Michael Parker currently 4th in the points, will start 3rd. Paul Darling currently 2nd in the points, will start 4th. And then last season's champion, Victor Tanaka, will start 5th tonight. So Victor continuing to have strong races after his championship last season. In the amateur category, we've got Richard Delgado, the points leader, will start in 6th overall. He will be in 2nd position, 6th overall, but pole position, of course, for the amateur class. We then will have about 8 to 10 positions behind him in 15th overall is Andrew Solomon, who will start 2nd. Bobby B and will be in 3rd in 23rd overall. David Kaufman in 4th, and then good to see this guy back, Tim Collier, Ryan. He's back from a little break, and looks like he'll start in 5th position, 26th overall in the AM category. The AM guys are really spread out for certain.
Indeed. An interesting tidbit about Tim, he's actually switched back from VR to monitors.
Oh, really? Okay. So
and he's been really enjoying it, apparently.
Good for him. Did he go to like a triple monitor setup or something, I'm assuming?
I can't remember exactly. I know he's got one curved. I can't remember if he went with triples or just a curved.
Yeah, good for him. Well, it's good to have Tim back out here. And since I've been away for a few weeks, I see a good, healthy list of names for this race, both in the familiar category as well as some new faces. So definitely looking forward to calling this one tonight. You can see all these GT3 cars, single class, 2 races. And the other thing that Ryan and I should fail not, or should make sure we don't fail to mention is these are shared points. So even though the guys are racing within their own class, they're racing for the same pool of points. So Ryan, I don't know if you want to explain that a little bit further, but I think that's important because it really does mean you're racing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're say a pro driver and you've got a couple of AM drivers in front of you, that race is on. Like those are points that you can pick up if you're able to get around those guys, and vice versa for AM drivers. Just because you're in different classes doesn't mean you don't want to race and get those points.
Right, absolutely. So starting to roll here, we're going to have a short formation lap. And Ryan, the other thing I'm noticing here is we may have some drivers complain because there's a lot of Ferraris and Porsches and one Ford in this top top 12 to 15. So those BMW and Lamborghinis and Mercedes, those guys might be screaming a little bit here as we get ready to go to the green flag here. All right, here they go. They're going to come around the last corner. Miguel Colon, Max Muir are going to lead us away. And here they come. Let's get started at Longbeach. All right, there. As you can see, the race is starting here. They're going to go 3 wide on the front stretch. They're still getting around that last corner in the back of the field. 3 wide. This is not going to work going down into 1, so they're going to have to get in order here pretty quick. Max is going to take that inside. Miguel Colon goes for the move. Can't make anything happen. He will fall in line. Clean start here in the first 10 or so.
Everybody wisely deciding to go single file here.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble in the back of the field, which we'll come back to in a minute. It looks like Tim Collier, unfortunately, was one of those drivers with a problem who we were just talking about. So hopefully he doesn't bang his monitor with a hammer or something after that. We'll try to give you an update on Tim here in a few minutes, but we're going to stick with the leaders here as they come around into the back portion of the track here now already. Max Muir got off to a great start. Miguel Colon in second, and Victor Tanaka with a really nice start as well in third position. Paul Darling fourth, Michael Parker fifth. Here they come. We're going to stick with these 2 guys up front around the first lap as they come around the final corner.
Big lock up there.
Yeah, and we are off and running at Longbeach. Let's take a look at Ricardo Delgado. So here's Ricardo, the Sim Racing PR team. That's a really popular team. And for those of you who are curious what Sim PR or Sim Racing PR is, that's the Sim Racing Puerto Rico chapter. So we've got a lot of those Puerto Rican members here, Miguel Colon, Ricardo, several others, and you can see here this black Ferrari. This is our leader in the AM class right now, and he's chasing JT Tammy in that GT40 for position and holding a pretty wheel. I like the logo on this Sim PR team. I like the organization, and it's great to see them getting the airtime, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're a great bunch of guys.
Really are. A little aggressive, but the nicest guys you'll meet when they're off the track. All right, let's see if I can give you kind of an update. We talked about Tim Collier earlier. Let's go back and see what happened to Tim here. Here it is. Oh, Ryan, that was all Tim.
Oh, no.
That was all Tim. And nobody he can blame on that one. He just was hot into the corner. And did not have the outcome he wanted there at all.
It's so easy to do when you're just coming back and trying to knock the rust off.
Yeah, absolutely. Max Muir now has gotten out to about a 1 and 2.3 lead here over Miguel Colon, so he continues to be very, very strong. And I think, even though I've been away for a few weeks, I've been following how the guys have been doing. I think Max has definitely got to be the favorite right now. He's leading the points, and Showing a little bit of dominance in a really, really strong field. So this is quite the driver.
In some sense, I wonder if we just trade in one pace car for another.
Right. Miguel Colon in seconds, falling back now. They're kind of spread out here in the top 10 a little bit. And this is crazy. He is already catching the back of the field, Ryan. That's Bobby. Help me with Bobby's name. I call him Bobby B. I know we got a pronunciation guide, and I know you're gonna nail this name. That's Bobby here in the gold and black car with the leader just behind him.
Yep, Bobby Babaletskos.
Bobby Babaletskos, and he is in the Logos car, and I didn't see what happened to Bobby, but he is the last car on the lead lap right now, and also the second place guy in the points in the AM class, but this is not where he wants to be. He's off to a terrible start, and I want to see if I can figure out, Ryan, by just looking. It does look like he had an accident, and I'm going to see if I can show everybody that now. Here it is. Looks like he just had to come to the pits. So maybe he had... I don't know if he had a penalty or something he had to serve, or just got caught up. Looks like I found it. Here he is. This is going back a little bit further, and it looks like he might clip something here going around the fountain area. Actually, he got hit, in a pretty bad accident there.
Oh, yeah.
Several cars in the back of the field, and Bobby was part of that, and you can see the track pretty much just was blocked for a moment in time there. So that's what happened, and that's what has put Bobby here now with Max behind him. The other interesting thing about this, Ryan, is now Max Muir finds himself already in traffic. One lap into this race, and he's just now. You and I went back to the replay. He just now got around Bobby, so it's dang near impossible to pass here unless somebody kind of gives it to you.
Yeah, it is really hard. There was a lot of chatter between the drivers and the days leading up to the race here about how do we cooperate, what do we need to do.
Right. And ultimately, there's things that the administrative team can do. Looks like Miguel Colon going to go in here. Good for him. Makes quick work of Bobby. And right behind him, Victor Tanaka going to do the same thing. So Bobby is working with these guys and kind of letting them get around. But they're already in more traffic. So this is them now going around... looks like Nicholas Bala that they're going around now. But, Ryan, the point I was making is that there's only so much the admins can do, right? At the end of the day, the racers and the guys out here on the track are the ones that have to put on the show, and they've got to work with each other, especially at Longbeach.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, Nicholas Bala getting really loose off that last corner here.
Yeah, this is a survival race, not the race you want to be, diving and chopping and making all sorts of crazy moves.
Yeah, it really is. So back again on board here with our amateur points leader, Richard Delgado. Richard off to a really strong start. He and JT Tammy have both moved up a couple of positions, and JT now ahead of Ricardo, but he's doing his part, that's for certain. And Andrew Solomon, if we go back to 13th position overall, and let's see if we can get a little bit more of a close-up on Andrew. That's him here in this 223 car, black and white Ferrari. This is the second place driver in the AM category. And Ryan, I'm seeing a little bit of damage on his car already. Look at this.
Oh yeah, might have rubbed a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
Actually, that's on the front end.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was in that parking lot earlier that we saw by the fountain.
He may have been. And what I'm showing is it looks like, unfortunately, we've had one retirement out of that. And it looks to be as if that was, unfortunately, Larry Ford. So I didn't see exactly what happened to Larry. But he is retired from the race. But I think it's safe to say that several cars were caught up in that. For certain, and to your point, they're going to have to just sort of manage it. It's probably going to be pretty common for everybody to come out of here with some damage tonight.
Yeah, I also see Val Asensio has made an early retirement as well. It's too bad she was just getting back on track after being away for a little while again.
Yeah, and had to get out early. So, well, you know, the one thing about getting out of a race early is you can go reclaim your night, go catch a ball game or something on TV.
It's true. Once the blood pressure comes down a couple notches.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way I've always tried to look at it. So while we're here with Andrew Solomon in second position in the Pro-Am category, let's actually kind of do a little bit of a quick field rundown for you. We'll give you kind of our top 5 in each class. And, oh, look, right as I say that, an accident.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, let's go back here and see if we can see what happened. He's going to come around this thing. And they were parked everywhere in front of him. See if I can't figure out what happened there. It looked like maybe like maybe Warren McGrary was in that. Here's Warren. Yeah, there's the accident, Ryan, right there. And somebody got into the rear of Warren, and it just kind of chain reaction. And then everybody coming around that blind corner could see Warren here. Warren did a really good job of just kind of sitting still. But unfortunately for him, he had to let the entire field go by before he could get going again.
It's going to be really hard to find gaps here to rejoin.
Yeah, and if you're looking,
just caught its own tail.
I mean, here's Warren still trying to get around in that thing, having to do a 3 or 4 point turnaround to get through this thing. I mean, good Lord. Talk about a tough place to crash. But he's going again now, and you know, that can happen to you, and you can end up with a situation like that, and then you know, find yourself to claw back in it, you know, because it's almost one of those sort of not if but when. Everybody's going to have a little bit of adversity in a race like this.
Yep.
But at any rate, but back through the field here. So again, I want to start with the amateur class. So Ricardo Delgado, currently the leader. He's also our points leader. This is him that we ride along with here now. He's following JT Tammy in this black and yellow car in the Sim Racing PR team. He is in first position. On the move, just a few positions behind him on the track, is Andrew Solomon. So Andrew, even though he's got this car that is a little bit damaged, certainly looking pretty good. And, you know, I think definitely on the move upward for sure. If we go back a little bit further to 17th overall, we'll find another name you're going to have to help me here with, Ryan. It's Nick Melagarno? Third position?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. We don't have a guide for it.
Yeah, and yeah, Melaragano. Interesting name. Cool car. He's got a halo paint scheme on the side of this thing.
Oh, I stand corrected. Nick Millerano.
Millerano. Okay, so you get a little silent with that G.
Yeah.
And Nick looking really, really good here. Third place run going in the category. Joe Stifle just behind him. Joe with a little bit of damage. I know he was for sure in that pileup that we saw here in the Bengal Tiger paint scheme that looks so good. Kind of an iconic sports car scheme from back in the day. And Joe having a really solid run. Joe's had a lot of solid runs in our Porsche Cup Series. And then this is a nice surprise, Ryan. Peter Hebron in 5th position. And I know Peter has had his fair share of bad luck, but he's looking pretty strong tonight here in 5th position in the category.
17 spots.
Right. Just off to a nice start here in this thing. A little bit of damage on his car, you can see. And I think, you know, again, we're going to see that with just about everybody. But driving for Pneumatic Motorsports, one of the teams that we're very fond of here at CMS, run by Jason Lundy, and Peter's been on that team for quite a while. And this is, at least while I've been doing some of the broadcasts, or one of his better runs that he's off to. And like you said, 17 positions. That's pretty salty.
Oh, yeah.
With Peter using every ounce of the track there.
Oh, that was so close.
So
But
close.
that's what you gotta do if you want those 10ths.
Just about hit that wall. That's Alex Rivera going by him on the right. Actually, Christian Okendo. So these are some guys that maybe had some trouble early. Some of the pro drivers, they're working their way back around Peter. But also, I really could notice there as we ride along with Peter that he was doing a really good job of kind of working with those guys to make sure his race wasn't, kind of wrecked in the middle of it.
Right. Yeah. Peter is a very experienced sim racer, so he knows, very well how to work in traffic like that. Mm-hmm. It's really good to see.
It really is. Really loose. That's Alex Rivera and Christian Okendo in front of him. Really loose in that Mercedes. That's Okendo in the Mercedes, I believe. But Peter, solid run. He's in 23rd position overall right now, 5th in the category for amateur, and looking really, really good. I'm hopeful that he can continue a really solid run here. And like the red and black car, kind of that metallic red on the metallic black. Looks really, really good with the silver on this thing.
Yeah, that does look really good in this, fading sunlight here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what sort of track time are we coming into? A twilight setting?
I think we're going to go to sunset here.
Okay. That'll be fun. Looks like, unfortunately, Kevin Ayers has had an issue. Here's Kevin. Let's see what happens here. Oh, around he goes. Gets tagged by the 13. And here they are again, Ryan, in a spot where he is. Boy, everybody's tracking out in this spot. What is Kevin going to do?
That's a nightmare.
Oh, and another car coming around the corner does a monkey see, monkey do pirouette.
Yeah, just as he was trying to rejoin, there was a car coming.
Mm-hmm. But Kevin going okay. No harm, no foul. Did a good job of paying attention to the traffic and making sure that he didn't have any big issues. Hey, a shout out to Kevin while we're talking about him here, Ryan. Kevin is one of our more active members in our iRacing chapter here at CMS, and somebody that has really just contributed a lot to the community as we kind of ride from a drone view with him here in the blue and green car Porsche that we're following. And just want to give him a thanks. He's doing a huge amount of work for us for the 24 Hours of Spa this weekend. We've got 2 cars from Champion Motorsports running, and Kevin has really stepped up to help me and the others kind of get all that organized. And I know he's super excited about it, and just kind of want to make sure that we give him a little bit of kudos for that on the air tonight.
Yeah, those that Spa Endurance, that's going to be quite the event.
Yeah, very different from what we're dealing with here, right? But maybe you can use this as a maybe what Kevin can do here as well as some of the others is use this to get any frustration and anger out of their system.
Hopefully not too much.
Yeah. Great view of him coming around the fountain here. And in a pretty good little battle with Joe Stifle right now. Good little battle here with these two. Not in the same category. Kevin's a pro. Joe behind him here in the Ferrari is a amateur, and someone we talked about, but still nonetheless having a really good race. So, all right, I think it's time we go back up front, Ryan, check in on them. Let's start from about, let's just actually go through the top 10. So we'll start here with 10th position. Everybody but Richard Delgado in this group is going to be a pro, so we'll start with James Stacy in 10th position. And I know maybe at the last race we broadcast was perhaps the first race James had come back, and he's in this Audi looking quite strong. So good to have him back on the track, and this is certainly the highest running Audi and the only thing in the top 10 that's not a stand corrected. There is one Lamborghini in the top 10 right now as well, if I'm not mistaken. But we've got a lot of Porsches and a lot of Ferraris in the top 10, and then James trying to spoil the party in this Audi. I imagine the Audi's got to be kind of a fun car to drive around here at Longbeach, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with it around here myself, but you know, the balance of power for these cars, you know how they're balanced by iRacing, you know, is meant to be an average across all tracks, so they're not going to be great at every track, and this is maybe the most extreme example we're seeing of that so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this car though definitely looks planted for him though, and he's leading a good, you know, in a good battle here. Just a little bit ahead of him, about 3 seconds on the track is Chris Braun. So this is Chris in the Porsche, 9th position overall. Ryan, I don't know if we've got a car around up ahead of him. I don't know if we've got any date. Was that Miguel Colon? It sure was.
I think it was.
We're going to have to stand down here and look at what happened. Here's Miguel. This is just as that was happening. Here's the replay. It's turn 1. Oh
no. Oh, he clipped that hard, too.
Yeah, Ryan, that was a pretty hard hit. I've got to thank Miguel. Here he is trying to get it going again. I got to think he's having to come in for a fast repair here.
If you can get
Finally
back
got
on
it
track.
going. Here he is live. He got it going again.
He's missing some rear body work there.
Yeah, but as long as he doesn't have a meatball, we may see him stay out. Let's watch and see if he dives to the pits here. And that's James Stacy now, who he's just now behind. Yeah, and there's Miguel coming into the pits. So here he is coming down pit road.
Trouble even on that hairpin there, so
yeah,
I'm sure this repair will help him out in the long run.
Yeah. Now, how much is this gonna hurt him? We'll go, and I promise we'll go back through. We'll pick up where we left off from going through the top 10. But this is a big enough story. I think we want to cover it right now. Is this gonna hurt him in the grand scheme of things? I mean, he did lose 7 or 8 positions, but he's got the fast repair. He's kind of getting his pit stop out of the way. So will he be okay in the end? Is kind of the question I'm asking myself.
Yeah, it didn't look like he stopped for very long there. So I don't know if he would have taken enough fuel to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, he was not there. He was not there at all, unless he just was thinking maybe all he was going to need was a splash and go, right?
Maybe, but like at 23 minutes in, you'd think he would just take enough to last till the end. But maybe he did. Maybe he took a full tank at the beginning
and thought maybe we don't know. Right, and thought maybe all he needed was a couple of gallons at the end.
Just to avoid that second pit stop, but
yeah, had he right, and I think we're saying the same thing. Had he not had the accident, maybe he was planning on just coming in for a splash and go, no tires at the end, and he got that out of the way now with the fast repair. But he's fallen all the way back to 21st place now. So big development here as far as kind of our championship battle goes. But again, back up here going through the top 10. This is Andrew Solomon in 10th. He is really on the move. Came back and just kind of started over with the top 10 because Andrew Solomon is the chaser to Ricardo Delgado. We've talked about him a couple of times tonight, and even though a little bit of damage on the front end of this Ferrari, Ryan, this driver is really on the move. Not sure how many positions he's up, but he's having a terrific race.
Yeah, he's looking really good out there.
He is, and he's kind of set his sights on James Stacy and the Audi. This is James, who we're on board with here now. And James moved up to 9th position and all of that with Miguel Colon going around. So having a solid race of his own. Up a few seconds ahead of them is Chris Braun, and this is where we left off. Chris, don't know if we have any data on Chris. That's what I was going to ask you, Ryan, before we saw the issue with Miguel. But I'm not sure that I know Chris, or if he's been racing for a while. I haven't paid enough attention, but this is a new name to me, and I'm curious if we got any data on him.
Yeah, he's from Boston. He just signed up with us, I think, last race or in between, very recent anyway. Mm-hmm. But that's about all I've got for you. He's originally from North Dakota, currently in Boston.
Yeah, well, Chris,
and we're really happy to have him here.
Yeah, well, Chris, if you get a chance to watch this, or we get a chance to talk to you at some point, number one, you're having a great race, and two, we'd love to know a little bit more about how you found CMS and got involved here, and happy to be talking about you. Love the blue and white, or excuse me, the purple and white car. Kind of has a nice ring to it here at Long Beach. Just ahead of him is another Porsche. This is Richard Hibbs. I know we've got quite a few Richard Hibbs fans who from time to time will check in with us on the Twitch stream. But Richard continues to just put together, every time I do a broadcast, it feels like Richard's having a solid run, Ryan.
Yeah, he's always a very consistent driver.
Yeah, very much so. And just a really good guy. So good to see him having another really good run. And, Richard has kind of done what I always look to do here at Long Beach. Is I don't know how he's done it with 44 cars on the track, but as you can see here, he's kind of carved out a little spot to himself, it looks like, where he's got a little bit of just track to himself, and that's what you want here. You need to be able to get into a rhythm, and it's hard to do that when you've just got car after car after car all around you, and he's kind of found a little spot to himself out here.
Yeah, he's got lots of real estate.
Yeah, he does. He's looking really, really good. And has just kind of found a little niche for himself out here that he can get out there and just kind of get into his rhythm. And that's what you need, is the ability to give yourself a little bit of space. So just ahead of Richard, actually about 10 seconds ahead of Richard, is Ricardo Delgado. So this is Ricardo in that sim racing PR team, leading the way for our AM drivers, and has just been glued to the bumper, Ryan, of JT Tammy since the drop of the green flag in this thing. Also, I see we got a few comments out on Twitch. You'll have to help me with some of those, but thanks to everybody that's tuned in and watching us. We certainly appreciate it, and appreciate your feedback and for joining us. We try to be a little bit different, cover not just the 2 or 3 cars up front, but we certainly will put plenty of time on those cars throughout the course of the night, but tell a few stories and talk about all of our members in these events. And these two right here, Ryan, 5th and 6th position, now JT Tammy and Ricardo Delgado having one hell of a battle. This is Ford versus Ferrari, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and they're very close here, but picking the moves. I think very happy to hang back there for a while and wait for an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Both of them having a really good race. We're gonna have to keep our eyes on this, and I think this just goes to show you that the point you made earlier about these drivers in the AM category. Just because you're an amateur doesn't mean you can't put together some really, really strong races, and Ricardo Delgado is doing exactly that. To even be in a position here to be battling with somebody the likes of JT Tammy, one of the more skilled racers in the field, is quite impressive for him, and he has been on his back bumper really from the beginning of this race. In fact, I think he started in front of JT at the drop of the green flag. JT got around him, but he has not let him lose his sights from the moment all that started. Really good race going on. So we'll go up a little bit further. We've got another really good battle here. This is Paul Darling, who we're on board with now, and he's given chase to Michael Parker just ahead. These guys are within a second and a half of each other. That's Michael in the 23 car, kind of the black, blue, and orange gold livery Porsche. Paul Darling and Michael having quite a battle of their own. This is Paul in his satellite racing Ferrari, and they're cutting their way through some traffic right now, Ryan, as well. So
making it look a lot easier than it really is.
They really have, and I mean, they're into some strong drivers. Right now, the leaders up front here, of which these guys are a part of that. This, Paul and Michael. We've got only 16 cars on the lead lap, and that's Drew Lidke, who just went a lap down behind them. Claude Belval's gone a lap down. They're working on Jose Diolio now. So these are some strong drivers they're trying to get around. And as we know, the further up you go, the harder it gets.
Those are drivers that have won races.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Parker just ahead of Paul here. Let's get on board with Paul and kind of look at this cockpit view, see if he goes, as they go through this traffic, if he tries to make a move. Looks like he's going to maybe try to take advantage of it. Lap car gives way. Of course, if there's anybody you want to not be behind when you need them to make a mistake, it's Michael Parker. No way in hell Michael makes a mistake here, in my opinion. Right? That's just not in his DNA, right?
Yeah, very, very rare for him to put a wheel wrong.
Yeah, this is Leonard Burke just ahead of them, who they're going around. This is Leonard, out of you see on the right-hand side out of Michael's cockpit. Michael will get around him. Paul going to chase him down in there. Car coming out of the pits. Beautiful visuals. See that sun going down too here. Track's getting a little bit golden, Ryan.
Yep, it's looking real good.
And
this is just such an iconic track to look at.
Absolutely. This is certainly really high on my bucket list of places I would like to go see a race. So let's go a little further ahead. This is second place, Victor Tanaka. Victor is all by himself. He's got about a 3. Oh, and he hits the wall just as I say that.
Ouch.
Ryan, that was a pretty hard hit. This car does not look good. This could be a meatball.
Yeah, these GT3s are fairly fragile. They don't look like it, but yeah, it doesn't take much.
Yeah, let's see if he has to come to the pits here. Yep, he sure is. So look at that. We saw it live in real time. This is another driver, so just like Miguel having to come down pit road, and while he does this, let's take a quick look at what he does, but this is only allowing Max Muir to get out even further. Max had an 8-second lead over everybody, so he's got the field cover, and we're going to give Max some featured time here in just a moment, but we're going to see what Victor does. Looks like he will take his fast repair. Again, all drivers have one fast repair in the race. He's already got his, yeah, just like Miguel, Ryan. They must have been thinking they could get through this race with just a splash and go at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking like it.
Coming off pit road, and while he does that, we'll get back on board here with our leader. So let's give this gentleman some props. Here he is kind of cutting through the field. He's lapped all the way up. That's Jose Dolio. He just went around, and now he's working on Chris Braun. And we went through the field, and Chris Braun was one of the featured drivers, Ryan. So he's about to put Chris, who's in 15th overall, a lap down. Our leader, Max Muir, he is putting on a clinic here at this racetrack. And not only is he doing that, Ryan, but I don't see a scratch on this car.
Indeed. And Max does have at least one fan here in the audience. Frogger15 says, "Let's go, Max."
Very cool. See if we can watch him go around here with some of these close-ups here as he comes through some of these corners. See the sun coming down here. He's going to be coming right at us here. He is looking terrific.
Right past that speed limit 35 sign, going about 135.
So, okay, Ryan, you're Max. You're in the car here. You've got a huge gap right now. You're 12 seconds in front of everyone. What are you thinking right now? Is he going to just keep this thing out on the track as long as possible, and come in just only when he has to at the end? Does he take advantage of this clear track he has? That's what I'm thinking, but...
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
He's got the pace to really, expand that gap. But at the same time, you really want to be careful here, and not go the way of some other people who have clipped a wall and had to pit. So I'm thinking slow and steady here if I was
Yeah,
him.
I'm thinking so too. And just to kind of give you all an update, Max has won this. Could if he's able to keep this together, and he's got a long way to go. 26 minutes left in the race, and at Long Beach we know that's an eternity. Anything can happen. But if he is able to keep this thing together, he would be en route to his third win of the season. He had a win earlier at Motegi in the season opener. That was during IRTES week. Was a big race and one that we really enjoyed covering. We did the broadcast for that. Managed to have a really good race at Monza where he finished in second at the combined track, which was a liability. I think a lot of guys thought coming into the into that circuit with the big oval. Then came back and won again at Hockenheim, and then last week at Spa was again in second. So he's finished no less than second. And when he has not won, it's been simply because Paul Darling, who we know is here, and Paul is now all over the back of Michael Parker. Paul has taken those other two wins. This is a hell of a battle here. They're 12 seconds back, but if Max would just quit stinking up the show, this is what we'd be calling for the race win right here, Ryan.
Indeed. A couple other people in the Twitch chat, just to shout out here. Peter Hebron says, "LOL, I knew I wouldn't finish this race."
No, we were just talking about him.
Really sad to see him not, take the DNF here.
Peter.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who 9 Fast 9 Furious is, but they say they made it 2 laps before they had to bail.
Well, it's one of these people, because I see the following drivers out of the race: Larry Ford, Paul Castillo, Douglas Hentz, Nicholas Bala, Peter Hebron, Robbie Prescott, JP Alfonso, and Christian Okendo are all out of the race at this point.
And Valacencio as well?
Don't see Valacencio. I think he... Unless I'm missing him.
I think she was in the pile-up on lap 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. What number is she?
233.
233. Yeah, she's out. But I'm not seeing in the list for some reason, which is bizarre, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Val is out of the race, unfortunately. There is a driver, though, that is marred in the back that had a lot of trouble early, and that's Tim Collier. He is still running. He's on pit road right now, and there's 3 or 4 cars in the race, Ryan, that have DNF'd in front of Tim. So he's showing his running, but I don't see him sitting in his car. So somebody ought to call Tim and tell him to get back in the car. He's got 3 or 4 positions to gain by just getting out in the car and running a few laps.
Right.
Yeah, so somebody may want to make him aware of that while we continue to watch this really, really good battle between Paul Darling and Michael Parker. I got to think that these guys were probably thinking the same thing the other two did, that we saw Miguel Colon and Victor Tanaka. Unfortunately, both had issues, had to come into the pits, but it looked like that gave away their hand of them running a splash-and-go strategy. So I'm thinking we're going to see Michael and Paul out here, until they just have to come for fuel, unless Paul starts thinking about maybe an undercut move if he feels like he's faster than Michael.
Anything's possible here. In the traffic is such a wild card. You can end up, having one strategy and then just getting slogged in traffic and deciding to bail to the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's spend a little time talking about a driver that maybe we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight or just in general lately, and I'm going to pick one here. Let's talk about our buddy Drew Lidke. Drew having a solid race here. He's in 18th position overall, 1 lap down to the leaders. He is in this black and red, looks like a Motul scheme, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a new one for Drew.
Yeah, or if not, it's looks a lot like a Motul brake fluid lubricants car. But good to see Drew out on the track. Drew, a member of the Can-Am racing team, Ryan, which I know you're pretty good buddies with a lot of those guys yourself, and he's having a solid run here. He's battling with Chris Braun. The leaders just went by these guys, so that's Paul Darling and Michael Parker just ahead of them. But this is a really nice positional battle here between Chris Braun and Drew. Good to see Drew having a solid race. But, boy, if Drew's running 18th, I don't know that I'm even qualified to run in these races because he's fast and he's a race winner.
It's getting a little intimidating, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. But Drew's got really solid pace. He ran a 20.9 last time by, and his fastest lap's a 19.5. Yeah, I've been missing Drew a little bit. He did not make the last couple of IRTES races. So I know he and Chris Hudson, good buddies and teammates, have had a lot going on. Chris is also in the race. We'll give you an update on him here in just a second. But good to see him out here on a Wednesday night, and Drew having a really solid battle with Chris Braun. Chris doing a really good job of keeping Drew behind him, and Drew seems content to be patient here, Ryan.
Yeah, that is Drew. He's a very patient, calculated driver. He knows what he needs to do and when he needs to do it, and he's happy to wait for that time.
And we talked about Chris Hudson. Here's Chris in the Can-Am Ferrari, and Chris is now in the. When we went through the top 10 last time by, he was just on the outside of it, so we didn't get an opportunity to talk about Chris. But that is. He's having a great race right now, up in P8, and just got past Ricardo Delgado, and setting his sights on Victor Tanaka, who actually just came in for the service that we saw. So when Victor came in for his fast repair, Ryan, he fell down to about 7th position.
Right, and that's enabled Chris, who has not come in for a stop yet, to catch right up to him here.
Yeah, and it also looks like Delgado actually. Here's Delgado. He's a little bit further back, so he's about 10 seconds back on the track. Delgado has been into the pits himself here, so this is our leader in the AM category, and he has been into the pits. And from what I can tell, that was just standard service for Ricardo. So that's a driver who is not on the gas and go. Looks like he kind of decided to come in, pretty close to the midway point of the race.
Yeah, he's definitely in good shape here. Having everything done, just needs to hold it together for another 20 minutes.
Joe Stifle is now up into P2 in the amateur class. This is Joe, but Joe has not come in for service yet. Justin Verga in 3rd position in the category for amateur class has also not come into the pits. So Delgado, Ryan, he managed to get on and off pit road for a 39-second, amount of time on the lane and 6 seconds in the box, so about 45 seconds, and still was able to stay out in front of these guys. So that just kind of goes to show the race this man's having is really, really strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, looks like Chris Hudson now coming down pit road. So here's Chris coming down pit road as we speak. A couple other drivers coming with him on the lane right now, and we're going to see Ricardo Delgado with these guys coming in. I think he's going to have an opportunity to get back into the top. Certainly he's already in the top 10, but we may see our amateur leader sniff the top 5 in this race.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on him.
Yeah, Drew Lidkey's one of the cars that hasn't pitted. Justin Verga. Chris Hudson is on pit road now. I'm thanking most everybody. Miguel Colon is back on pit road, Ryan, and it does not look good. Look at this.
Oh, no, what happened?
He's out of the car. There's smoke all the way around the car. And I'm going to show you what happened. Here it is. He goes back. He's alongside Joe Stifle here. Oh, no, Miguel. Hadn't seen him hit anything or get hit yet.
Oof, I don't know how.
Oh my goodness! There it is, right there.
Oh yeah.
And then he backs it into the wall, trying to get it around. There's another car spun with him up ahead, and then, yeah, you can already tell car not driving straight.
Yeah. Oh, it's crabbing hard.
Yeah, so he's had to bring it back into the pits, and that's where he sits. So that's going to shake up the championship up front, because it looks like Miguel Colon may be headed towards... he's been sitting on the pits, sitting in pit lane now for about 2.5 minutes already. So he is dropping rapidly down the standings, back in 31st position.
Nah, that's tough. Yeah, he'd already used his fast repair in that little incident we saw earlier.
Yeah.
It's always a judgment call. Like, do I use my fast repair now for this repair that might take 30 seconds? Is that the worst I'm going to see this race?
Right. Because then it looked like he just was, trying to gain back as many positions as he could, going on, the tail end of Joe Stifle, got around kind of his own doing, and then almost avoided all those cars coming, but got clipped and then backed it into the wall. And it doesn't take much to throw the toe or suspension off in one of these things with all these walls. Even though there's a lot of safer barriers around this circuit, there's a lot of stuff to hit, and pretty easy to tear up a car here.
Yeah, safer barrier.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm riding along with Victor Tanaka right now, and the reason I'm doing that is I feel kind of like Victor is our highest position driver right now who has pitted, and he's in P7. He had that issue, which we saw was the reason for his pit stop, where he hit the wall, but it was fairly minor. He got the car back around without losing a whole bunch of time. Didn't really, spin on the track and lose any significant track position. And I'm curious to see, with him coming in a little early, if he's, didn't look like he got tires. But I'm wondering if, he's created a little bit of space for himself out here, Ryan, because now he's got, what looks like to be pretty clear track. Is he going to be able to, kind of jump ahead, even further of Michael Parker and Paul Darling? Maybe even have a little something for Max if Max has anything go wrong on the pit stop.
Yeah, there's, he's definitely got a shot at P6. He's only a few seconds back at that. And then only a few seconds up to P5. So I think a top 5 is certainly possible for Victor. Going any more than that might be a little tricky, but with pit stops, I think he might be in okay shape once those guys come in.
Yeah, I think so too. And doing really, really well. Who is that he's going around? That was a lap car number 56. I believe that is Claude Belval, the Dog Bear Racing team. Claude having a solid race. Not to his standards, I'm sure, but 19th position. So that's not terrible. 44 car field.
Absolutely. Yeah, Claude is one of those drivers, like many of his Dog Bear teammates, that they just come out, they race every week, and they usually do pretty darn well. But they're also experienced sim racers, so they know that not every race is going to be the best race, and that's okay. We're all here to have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is Claude that we ride on now, as he's kind of behind Victor Tanaka. It does look like James Stacy's on pit road. Let's see if we can see what James does here, Ryan. Well, if he's already hit his box here. I think he has, so he's coming off, so I wasn't able to see what he did. But we'll see where he comes back in. This is that Audi that has been doing so well in the race. Watch him come off pit road here. Got a camera right at the end of pit road. This Audi just looks so planted around here to me. I don't know if it's just the ride height visual. Look how low it looks. You could certainly put a pack of Lucky Strikes underneath that and not have much space.
Yep.
I think I may have just come up with a sponsor for him. The Lucky Strikes Audi. Do they still make Lucky Strikes? Can you even buy those these days? I mean, who smokes anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. That used to be the thing, though, right? If you could get your car low enough to where just a snug fit of a pack of Lucky Strikes underneath the front bumper. I don't know that we could get a pack underneath that thing. It's about, be lucky to get a nickel underneath it.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Oh, man. Surprisingly, we've had a couple of big pileups that we saw and caught, but it has not been a terrible race, right? I'm showing Ricardo Delgado here with an issue. And Ryan, all that work. He didn't hit anything, but he overshot turn 1. And there it is again.
Yeah, good recovery, though.
Yeah. As we say that, Max Muir has just set the fastest lap of the race. So if anybody had any hope, he's doing everything he can to kill it.
Yeah.
As he's coming up upon a car with no hood. That's got to be making him nervous.
Ooh. Yeah, we got just a message from a traveling Mike Tyler here. He says, hello from Boston.
Hey, Mike. Glad to see you on, buddy. We miss having you out here. Unfortunately, your teammate did not do well. Larry Ford, last place tonight, 44th position. It happened quickly. There was an issue at the beginning of the race. We did not see what Larry did, but we will give you an update that we've got some good news with regards to Larry, Mike. He will be running with us at the 24 Hours of Spa this weekend, so we're super excited. Larry was a late addition to the CMS Champion Endurance team, and so I'm sure now that he's kind of had an early night end at Longbeach here, Ryan, Larry can start getting ready for the big race.
Yeah. Or like you say, maybe, take a break.
Yeah, reclaim, go watch a good movie on your TV, or Larry's a fellow Texan here like me, and our Texas Rangers are doing pretty good, and I know he's a baseball fan, so maybe you can go watch a little baseball tonight.
There you go. At a university professor who had the rule of 2 Gilligans. You could, if you watch 2 episodes of Gilligan's Island, all bets were off. You could, that's just a reset.
That was it, right? Well, here we go. We've got about a little less than 10 minutes left in the race. So, Ryan, I think it's time to go down the field. Let's start again with our AM class. So, it's been this way since the drop of the green flag. He qualified up front. Ricardo Delgado, he has been the man. He has been just insanely good tonight. We saw a little bit of an issue a few minutes ago where he overshot turn 1. But, boy, Ryan, I have never seen somebody have an overshoot like that and do it as calm, cool, and collected as Ricardo did. He didn't hit anything. He gathered himself. This guy has got ice in his veins, and he is showing us that he is quite the driver, and I am super impressed with this man.
Yeah, definitely. He's been really great to watch.
Really, really, really happy with how he's running tonight. Joe Stifle in second place. Now, Joe, unfortunately for Joe, has not pitted yet. But at the moment, he is in P2. But he is going to have to hit the pits. I don't think that there's anybody going to be able to make it tonight without coming in and taking at least a splash of fuel. But right now, at the moment, Joe in second position in the AM class, looking really good. Same thing applies to Justin Verga. This is Justin here. We ride along with him now in his car. Justin having a really, really strong run. You can see him making a pass here. Justin in this number 13 Ferrari has not pitted yet as well. He will need to come to pit road. When that happens, that's going to be to the benefit of this man. This is fourth position. This is Andrew Solomon. Andrew has also had a really strong race tonight. He's been in second position behind Ricardo most of the night. We've been pretty impressed with the run he's been having, and I think a good chance to see him get back into that second position when these other two guys have to pit. And then in the 5th spot, we talked about this earlier, and Ryan was in that big pileup early, but look at Bobby. Bobby has worked his way back into a top 5 in class, and you want to talk about a recovery drive. This guy has done it. Last time you and I talked about him, he was in that big pileup and was running in about last place in this race, or as close to it as he could get, other than the couple of early retirements like Paul Castillo and Larry Ford.
Yeah, Bobby is a really kind of heads-up driver. So if there's anybody that's going to be able to pull off a recovery drive, it'll be him.
Yeah, it absolutely will. All right, let's immediately switch to our top 5 in pro. Richard Hibbs, this is him right now. He's 5th as we speak, but he's losing that spot because he's on pit road. He's losing it to this man. This is Michael Parker going by him right now in real time, going down here through the fountain area. Michael Parker, you watch him come at you. Beautiful visual here. Look at all the flowers as he brings this amazing-looking matte black Porsche. I love the paint scheme on this car. Michael in 5th position, having a strong race. Just ahead of him, Victor Tanaka. So Victor overcame that issue with the fast repair, Ryan, and that ended up not hurting him. He stayed ahead of those guys, and he is in the 4th position. Max Muir has been to the pits, and all of a sudden, Ryan, he's no longer the leader, because we have 2 guys, and we know if there are 2 that can do it, it's JT Tammy and Paul Darling, who might try to make this thing without a stop.
Yeah, I was just about to say that myself.
We know for sure that JT has tried it. This is Max that we're riding along with here live right now, but Max has been dominating this race, but if these other 2 guys can make it, he could find himself slipping back, and so here they are. Look at JT Tammy now. I can't think something has happened since we last talked about him, Ryan, because look at the front end of this thing. It looks rough. That can't be helping his fuel mileage.
Yeah, I don't think it came from the factory like that.
I don't think so either. But do you think he or this man here, without a scratch on this thing, was he riding behind Michael Parker so closely like he was tucked up underneath there, thinking maybe there was a play to stretch this thing?
It's possible. Pick up some fuel savings from the draft, lift and coast a little behind somebody. It could be doable.
He did it a season or so ago, I believe, right?
He's done it this season.
Yeah, we're getting some notes on the Discord from Mike and a few other guys about how talented Bobby is. He really is. Bobby had a really tough start to this race, but recovered beautifully. And to be able to come back and put it in the top 5 in AM class is just a testament to the whole never give up mentality. But I'm fascinated here now. There's 3 minutes left in this race, Ryan, and we're going to stick with Paul Darling here and see if we see him move to the pits.
Yeah, this is one to watch. This would be quite the upset if they can do it.
I don't know that upset's the right word with Paul, since he's won 2 races already.
Sure.
Yeah, but in this race it certainly would be, because you and I both thought Max Muir had walked away with this thing. All right, let's see if he comes by this time. If he's not coming by this time, I got to think he's trying to stretch it. I'm seeing 3 minutes left on the counter. He is awfully to the left here. He is not coming in. How much can you roll the dice, though, if you're Paul, Ryan? He's he's 2nd position, I believe, in points. You really can't take too much risk here. He's got to know pretty dang well that he can make it, or else he's going to drop 25, 30 positions if he... Maybe not that many, but...
Yeah, it's a risk. I don't know. It really depends on, how confident he was that he could do it. If he did some full fuel stints in practice, and also, being 2nd in the championship, there's also that, pressure. Like, what do I need to do to be 1st in the championship?
Right. And hey, shout out to David Williams. I hope David's watching. This is your teammate, David. And if you're not watching live, hopefully, David, you'll pick up the news from Paul and come back and check the race. So David Williams had a major renovation to his basement, and finally got all that behind him, and has got his sim rig going again. And so we're expecting to see David back on the track. Looks like he's going to go for it here, Ryan. Are we going to see a white flag here?
Be pretty close.
Yeah. Does he have enough of a lead? Does he have enough of a lead to milk that and make this the last lap? I think we might see exactly that happen. But while really briefly, just again, we hope to see David and Paul together again in the season finale at Watkins Glen and IRTES, two-time defending champions in the IRTES series. And now that David has got his rig back, and I'm expecting him, A, to be back on the track, hopefully with Paul, and then B, David has let me know as well that hopefully he's going to start making some of these Wednesday night races too. So that'll be another contender to come in and join us, Ryan.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the question I've got to ask. He's got a 17-second gap. Does he come down here and park this thing to ensure he doesn't have to do another lap?
Oof.
I don't know what the rule would be. JT has come into the pits, but Paul has not. And he's got enough of a lead. I think he can just nurse this thing. There's a car around in front of him. If he's not coming now, he's not coming. Oh, boy.
Staying wide.
And there's the white flag. Can he fuel map this thing into pace speed and keep Max Muir behind him 17 seconds back? Ryan, I think he can. Let's get inside the cockpit of this thing.
Hope we don't hear any sputtering. This is
dramatic. We're just going to listen. To the victor goes the spoils, right? He does not. He may be short shifting it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Not much.
He's taking it really easy here, though. He doesn't have any reason to push it right now. Ryan, I think we were just going to see the upset here. How about this? Here he comes. He can get out. He can get out and push it at this point. Paul Darling is going to win at Longbeach. Holy cow.
Wow.
He makes it with no stop. Very well done. Here comes Max Muir. Dominated the race, but didn't have the strategy. Did not have the strategy and didn't
put a wheel wrong the whole race.
Didn't put a wheel wrong. Michael Parker now looks like will hopefully bring it home in third place. This is Michael coming down about 45 seconds back of where Paul was. With Paul not coming into the pits, he was able to build a big gap. But that does show you with Max Muir already crossing just how far out in front Max was of everybody. Only 17 seconds back after the pit stop. Here comes Michael. And then JT Tammy right behind him. Michael going to give us a flash. That's our third on the podium. Here comes JT Tammy. Right behind him. A little bit of work to do left. Here comes our winner in the AM class, Ryan. Ricardo Delgado. Terrific run, Ricardo. Congratulations. Richard Hibbs will be in 6th position. Here comes Richard coming across the line now in his Porsche. Just behind him with a little bit of work to do left, a little further back. These cars are a lap down, so I think that some of them may have already taken the green flag. But this is James Stacy coming around now. James currently in 7th position. I think we'll see him take a checkered flag this time by. Yeah, he had already taken it. So, Ryan, I'm shocked he did that. Actually, I am, but I'm not, because it's the second time he's done it now.
Yes, yeah. No, if anybody can do it, he's, just really, really showing everybody how it's done here. And finally giving Max, a little bit of a heads up that that hey, I can do this too.
Oh my goodness, I'm seeing that Max Muir's girlfriend, Ariana, had promised him a Chick-fil-A sandwich if he won. And does that mean he's not going to get Chick-fil-A tonight, Ryan? Is she going to be a hard driver on this thing?
Oh no,
What's he get for second place? Sharp stick in the eye?
Popeyes? I don't know.
Boy, Chick-fil-A sounds really good.
It does.
Yeah, maybe maybe Ariana, you can cut him a break and at least let him get a wacky pack from Sonic or something tonight. He did finish in second position. My goodness. Let's do a quick rundown, and then maybe we can get one or two of these guys in here for interviews. I know that you've got a couple of things you got to do, Ryan. So we may just talk to the leaders tonight, and if I end up with them, just myself, but that'll be fine. I want to try to get Ricardo Delgado in here and Paul Darling. But to run down the finish, we'll go with the top 10 in pro category. Paul Darling with the overall win. Max Muir in second. Michael Parker in third. JT Tammy fourth. Richard Hibbs in fifth. James Stacy in sixth. Chris Hudson with a great run in seventh. Jose Diolio in eighth. Kevin Ayers battled back after some early trouble for ninth, and then Chris Braun rounds out the top 10. In the amateur class, a huge congratulations to Ricardo Delgado. Continues to lead the points. Takes another win here tonight at Long Beach. He was our first place driver. Andrew Solomon did come back and finish in second. Joe Stifel managed to hang on to third position on the podium, so a terrific run for him. Justin Verga in fourth, and David McNellis stuck up into that fifth position. So we talked about David earlier, and he had a really strong run. We didn't get to talk about him on the broadcast tonight, but was just kind of one of those quiet drivers who managed to bring home a top five in the race, Ryan. So, wow, I loved this one. This was terrific.
Really, really, really wall to wall, literally wall to wall, exciting racing here tonight.
Yeah, it really was. Let's see if we can get Ricardo Delgado in here. Do I just drag him down here? I guess I do, right?
Yep,
Let me drag him down here. Let's go into the audience. He's here. Let me let you talk to Ricardo quickly before you have to go, and then if we get the other gentleman, Paul Darling, I'll talk to Paul.
sounds good.
Ricardo, can you hear us?
Hello guys, how are you doing?
Good, Ricardo. Hey, fantastic race out there. You survived Long Beach. How was it for you?
Well, it was an eventful race. I had one incident, two cars spin in front of me, but it wasn't that bad. So I just went ahead and put it on the next lap, used the fast repair, and then get on with it.
Good. Well, we saw quite a bit of your race, and you looked really good in traffic, and of course you finished ahead of a bunch of the pro drivers. So you got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, it was a good race. I saw a lot of pro drivers having issues also with traffic, so it was a lucky one for me.
Right. And and we saw your, I guess you overshot it on T1 and just had to kind of stop and back it up. But even that, we were impressed with your fast recovery, quick hands on that to get back out there without losing too much time.
Yeah, I lost about 8 seconds in that overshot, so I was on for an undercut for Tammy, but yeah, that was it.
Right. Looked really good though, and we saw a lot of, as you said, some drivers having issues. People having to do the 20-point turn just to get back on track, and so it looks like you were able to capitalize on that a little bit with mostly staying out of trouble yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't forcing anything on the pros, just looking how much was the gap for the second M driver and keeping on it.
Good stuff. Well, hey, congratulations on your win. Thanks for coming out and supporting us again, and thanks for coming to talk to us tonight.
Yeah, thanks to you guys. Awesome series so far.
Great, awesome. Good night.
Yeah, so it does not look like Paul Darling's been able to make it by yet, Ryan. So you and I can just start to wrap up here. But, talking about Delgado again, he has just put together a really strong season here. Again, representing that Sim Racing Puerto Rico group that we've got quite a few members from that that race here at CMS because for the Puerto Rico guys, it ends up being pretty time zone friendly for them. And I tell you what, Miguel Colon, Ricardo, several others in that group have really been showing some terrific driving. And with Ricardo, it's hard for me. It looks like he's had, I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like he did win at Motegi, and I remember that because he kind of burst onto the scene there. He won again at Monza. He finished in second place to Carlos Ramos at Hockenheim. That was the only race that Carlos has made this year. And he finished in second place to, looks like Nicky Chan at Spa, and again, Nicky only having made one race so far, but this is now his third win, so he's having quite the season.
Yeah, indeed, and his Monza result was frankly shocking. Like he finished, ahead of just about everybody.
Mm-hmm. He did well, and not unfortunately not going to get to talk to Paul Darling. Doesn't look like he was able to make it by, but I believe he's going to be within 1 point unofficially of Max Muir for the championship, and he kind of has the upper hand now as we'll go into the next round with having now had 3 wins to Max's 2. So Paul's had a couple of Max has had podium after podium where Paul's had a couple of finishes where he finished kind of outside the top 5 even. Miguel Colon's going to fall back tonight in the overall championship. Had a tough race, ended up finishing with a 34th place finish. So that's really going to hurt him. Michael Parker had a strong run, podium finish. So shout out to Michael tonight. And then JT Tammy also with a 4th place finish. So the front runners did really well except for Miguel at this race, Ryan.
Yeah, very good, except for too bad about Miguel. But again, just consistent results from everybody. Even Miguel, like most of his race was exactly what we'd expect of Miguel. Just consistent, fast, good in traffic racing.
Yeah, just a couple issues, and it doesn't take much here. You get any sort of contact with anything, you're definitely going to have some damage. So, well,
Yeah.
we will hopefully be back next week. I haven't checked the calendar yet to see if I'm able to be here and broadcast. If not, hopefully somebody will be. And if I'm able to be here, God willing, and schedule-wise, Ryan and I will hope to come back and bring it to you again next time. Definitely would like to do that. And until then, we will get the points updated. We'll get this video uploaded for everyone, and we'll wrap up the night by just thanking our sponsors for the series, Simrace 24.7, or excuse me, Simrace247.com, and Darren and his team. Give them a bookmark and a like and a look up. Great sim racing news and blog site. Just really some terrific content. We also want to thank our iRacing Team Endurance series, which is sort of the parent series to this GT3 Sprint series, and for the partnership to put this on for us. And Ryan, another good one in the books. I certainly loved every minute of it.
Oh, this was great. Yeah, very, very fun.
Really was. So for Ryan Thompson, this is David Anderson. We will say good night or good day from Long Beach, and we will see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.